Hey guys, and welcome back to Battlefront Updates. The patch notes for the patch coming tomorrow morning was just released by Sledgehammer, the community manager for Star Wars Battlefront, and it was actually a quite long list. It's not just a fix for Lando, but it's quite a lot of fixes and balancing for the heroes that I thought we could go through in this video, since I will probably not be able to stream or play the game tomorrow. First off, we have a couple of UI fixes and lightning fixes and stuff like that, which I'm not really sure what issues they are referring to. But we also have a lot of balancing for the Walker Assault game mode, especially on the Rogue One Scarif maps, such as the hero spawn points, the Y-wing timer, and also a bug where we could see 3 uplinks at the same time at the Rogue One Scarif maps. I've actually had this issue on the normal maps as well, and not just on Scarif, so I'm hoping they've fixed it across all maps and not just the Scarif ones. It seems like they've also fixed the playable area during the first phase of infiltration, where some people managed to use the U-wing and sort of fly outside the map so that you couldn't reach them. And then we have a couple of other fixes, such as the hero selection screen for Hero Hunt and the R2-D2 glitch where you got a ton of points for using Bacta Bomb and Medical Droid on them, heroes versus villains going back to 1 set per map, and also a private match fix for infiltration, which I don't think a lot of people have experienced. Moving on, we have some balancing for the weapons and star cards. First off, they fixed the criteria for the Grenadier Hut contract regarding the flash requirement. I think that bug has to do with the fact that you only had to flash like 2 people and actually reach the criteria. At least that's what I experienced when I unlocked it. But again, most people have already unlocked the Sonic Imploder, so I don't think it will affect a lot of people. They've increased the blast radius from 2 to 4 meters and the explosion damage from 90 to 100, so I'm assuming that if you hit someone dead on the feet and they don't have bodyguard or Bacta, you will actually one-hit them. The TIE Striker has now received a faster projectile speed as well as doubled explosion damage, so now you might actually get some kills with the TIE Striker, because before I felt like maybe every 5th or 10th TIE Striker I actually called in got a kill, so it definitely needed a boost. They also fixed a rare bug where users could be spawned with a regular star card in their primary hand instead of the A180 module. This was something I noticed in Heroes vs Villains, so I think it had something with a separate spawn system to do, but hopefully that is now fixed. And now over to the most interesting changes regarding the heroes. First off, Guillaume has been working on the stun system, and it says that most stuns will be prevented for 2 seconds after a hero has been stunned once, but it doesn't apply to specific stuns like force choke or force push. I think this sounds very good, because sometimes if you face off against heroes that can stun you over and over and over, it gets very annoying and those fights just look absolutely ridiculous. So heroes versus villains will hopefully be a lot less stun locking like it's been so far, and if they do release Hero Blast sometime soon, it's obviously gonna work a lot better with the hero versus hero combat. They've slightly nerfed Bosk's micro grenades, both the inner and the normal radius, which I can understand because he could be extremely effective in close quarter situations, especially on the Death Star. They've slightly nerfed Chewbacca with a higher recharge time for his roar, as well as decreased the main projectile explosion damage from 45 to 38. This means that I still think he is going to be very effective against other heroes, because at those points when you have all 8 bolts at the same time, you were able to destroy heroes in a matter of seconds, and it seems like that might still be the case. Vader is getting some big changes, as he can now use his saber throw and heavy strike when force choking. So not only can he block while force choking, but he can also use the saber throw and heavy strike. Well, probably not when he's blocking, since he has to use the lightsaber, but it seems like Darth Vader will be able to do even more multitasking than he could previously, and it will hopefully be even easier to recreate the scene from Rogue One now. They've also increased the trait radius for him, as well as made sure that it doesn't affect the enemies like it did before. Leia has also had an increase in her trait radius from 8 to 13 meters, and you will also be able to one-shot back the stormtroopers with the Trooper Bane, which is very good to hear, because that was extremely annoying, and sometimes it didn't even feel worth using the Trooper Bane when most of the enemy team had Bacta bombs anyways. Krennic's trait radius has been increased as well, and apparently his armor breaker will apply the armor reduction after the damage is done, so I'm assuming that the damage of the actual first shot will be less than it currently is. And they reduced the armor breaker homing capabilities, and I'm hoping that it hasn't been decreased too much, because in that case it's gonna be pretty hard to hit with. Luke has had its final trait level speed decreased from 80 to 70%, which really isn't a big deal. But his shield deflection is now also able to block Krennic's armor breaker ability, which does make sense considering it's a blaster bolt. Jin has actually had a quite significant buff to her pistol, because the end damage, start fall off damage and end fall off damage has all been boosted, and the overheat on the rifle configuration has also been decreased, which means that both of her weapons will now be more effective. And then we had the Lando fix, of course, for his power blasts. For Greedo, it says that he stuns Luke out of the block for 2 seconds when shooting him with slow targeting. I'm honestly not really sure what that means, because I don't know what slow targeting is, but we might get some more clarification on that tomorrow. For Boba Fett, they actually increased the flamethrower damage against Chewbacca specifically by 50%, which is a quite interesting change. I like that they make Boba Fett especially effective against Chewie, because he doesn't have any very good counters right now, so it's going to be very interesting to see if more people will pick Boba Fett now. And lastly, we have a fix for the U-Wing, because apparently there was some sort of bugged missile warning, which I haven't experienced myself, but that is apparently fixed right now. Well, that is all for this patch. As you can see, it was actually quite big, a lot bigger than I first thought. It might be a couple of days before I can stream this new update and show you guys how it actually looks, but now you know everything that will be in it, and if there's any major bugs after the patch, I will of course update you on that as well. Thank you very much for watching, and as always, may the Force be with you.